everyone, I am RexRed and I am back with another EZ3D TV tutorial today. I have a very special surprise for you. I have been working the last 3 months on something that I just haven't really said anything about because I have not been certain if I could actually accomplish what I have set out to do. But it seems that the better angels, so to speak, have shined their gracious light upon me, and I have been able to accomplish what I have set out to do. And this is to create a program that goes into your Daz3D library, finds all of your HDRIs, which would be your HDR files and your EXR files. I have 5,000 of them, okay? And the thing is what's really bothered me is that I've not been able to use them because they're hidden. Daz doesn't actually display HDRI files, and for good reason, because it takes about 5 to 6 seconds for each one. Well, maybe not that long, but it takes a long time for the HDRI, depending on where it's coming from, to load just to be able to view it, okay? So that is why there's no thumbnail viewer in Windows for HDRIs, because they are just too big to load. And what happens is if you have a folder with 5,000 HDRIs in it, and you load that and you open that folder, each HDRI is going to take like 4, 5, 6 seconds, and then the next one will load a little thumbnail, and the next one will load a little thumbnail. That's if you have a thumbnail viewer installed. So basically what's happening is people have been buying, now how is our chat going? People have been buying these, welcome people, we have one person watching, yay. So live chat, let's go here. So I just kept buying more and more HDRIs, and they would fall into the giant chasm of the My Daz3D library, forever to be lost. And so I set out on this quest to fix this problem once and for all, so that you can access every single HDRI file in Daz Studio and see them. Because really, Angus, welcome, welcome. You are here to see the debut of our new EZHDRI program for Daz Studio. Now, there's a lot that I have to tell you about all of this, okay? The bottom line is this program couldn't be any easier to use, okay? It does require using it and setting it up and running it, okay? But even that process is very easy. You'd be surprised how easy, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to use. Now the thing is that it's not for sale yet. I'm making this video so that I might be able to market it to Daz Studio and see if they are interested in allowing me and helping me to sell it in the Daz store. if they are not interested in this, then I will just put it for sale in the Windows Store. Okay? Now, I built this program about 5 or 6 times from the bottom up. And each time I built it, it came crashing horribly down. And if it wasn't one thing, it was another. And there's so many different, and so that's why it's taken me 3 months to make it. And I mean, almost every day working until I was dead tired, way into the night, sleeping terribly. I'd look in the mirror and I looked dead, looked like I was dying, because I just was putting so many hours into trying to make this, okay? And it required a lot of thought to make this happen. So at first I wanted to use Daz Studio and have it be a script that you just open the script and it does this, and then open another script and it does that, and open another script and it does this. That was like over a half a month, almost a month, and a month, let's say, that at least a month that I spent trying to do that, all to find out there were 2 roadblocks. One was the Daz Software Developer Kit is incomplete, and so some of the most rudimentary things like running an exe or a .bat file from within Daz Studio is like not available. So that completely, so I couldn't, no matter what I did, I couldn't, and I tried using Qt and getting the right version of it. I tried using 2010 Visual Studio. I tried just using only the Daz software, only the Daz commands and functions and all of that. It didn't, it still, there wasn't enough there to do it. And then there was also the issue where are you going to open up 5,000 HDRIs on your computer while Daz is open? That turned out to be also something that just, I hadn't even really kind of thought about it until I was trying out and testing something that had taken me a month to make, and to realize that this isn't going to work. So it had to be done outside of Daz Studio, okay? And then that freed me 100% from the software developer kit that Daz puts out that is completely hobbled. It's just, there's hardly every command we would try to use was, unexposed every time. And so they were just not defined. And so that put an end to trying to use Daz for this task. So welcome. I am going to be showing off a new program that hopefully it's either going to end up in the Daz store or it's going to end up in the in Windows Store, and you'll be able to buy it on the Windows Store. And you wait till you see what this does. Welcome, people. Welcome. So this is a new program that has taken me 3 months to make, day and night. I've been working at it like crazy, and it's done. It's done enough, so it's done. So I can show you how it works, okay? So I just want to give you a little bit of background into how this came about. So I realized that I couldn't do this in Daz Studio by using scripts because I own 5,000, I'm not kidding, 5,000 HDRIs that I bought in the Daz store, okay? And out of those 5,000 HDRIs, only a small percentage of them I was able to access. About maybe, I would say, 10% of them I was able to access in Daz Studio. So I was buying them and buying them and buying them, and only a very small fraction of them I could actually find and use in the Daz store, in Daz Studio. I couldn't find them. And I knew they were there, but I couldn't find them to use them in Daz Studio. And so that was the big problem right there. And then there was another issue was these HDRIs live in the runtime folder, and you can't even access the runtime folder through your content library. All right, so that was another just extreme oddity that these HDRIs that I was buying, they're still selling them in the Daz store. Of course, they're awesome. HDRIs are amazing. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you that I have brought to you the sky, okay? I have brought to you the HDRI. I have brought and laying it at your feet. This is what I'm going to show you, is that now you can find every single one of your HDRIs in your smart content, in Daz Studio. This is exciting, okay? This is what I have been working to do. So without too much fanfare, which I think was a reasonable amount, I could talk and talk and talk and talk about this project at first ballooned out into, oh, I'm going to do everything. We're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this, and to the point where it was like, let's be realistic. If we can even get this done, we've done it. All right. So this is the program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Daz library. Okay. Which is right here. Now what I do now, just to explain something, welcome, hey, checking in. I was waiting to catch one of your live streams. Well, you have caught the very best one today, okay? XCIOR, welcome, welcome. This one is a big one, okay? So you want to stay tuned for this and watch and see what's gonna unfold here, all right? Now, what this program doesn't do, okay? This program does not change your Daz library in any way. All it does is it creates a folder inside your Daz library, and it puts certain elements into that folder. It doesn't go and change anything in your library. That was one. There are many criteria to this program, and this is one of them, was that it not change anything at all, nothing in the Daz library. It goes in and looks at things, it finds things, it makes lists of things, but it does not change any of the data. Thank you, Matthias. This, you will find, this is very interesting. I'm going to try not to draw it out too much, okay? Because I'm very proud of this, and so I'm going to try not to draw it out. And so this here, so I needed to pick a folder in the DAZ library that would be your HDRI folder, your new HDRI folder, where you go to, and there are all, and I am now capping out my mic a little. Those are all, where all of your HDRIs are in there, okay? In that one folder, every HDRI that you own is in there. Now, what happens if you buy more? Well, you have to rescan your entire drive. So, and it takes, if you're like me and you have 5,000 HDRIs, I actually have 5,000 HDRIs, and I could only access like 10% of them in Daz Studio. I am still in amazement of the HDRIs that I own that I didn't know I owned, all right? And so I have bought every single, I wait until they go on sale, of course, but I have bought every single HDRI possible in the Daz store, okay? Even the ones that are very old, even the 1K ones, I own them all. So I could only access like 10% of them, and I would do that in render settings. So I had to decide, where am I going to create this HDRI folder? Okay, and so I chose to do it in environments. Why? Well, because when you open up Daz Studio here, all right, and this also works in Daz Studio 2025. Okay, in case you have a question about that. The only thing is, so it works in both, and because it's not using Daz scripts, it's using Windows applications to do this. It's not limited. The Daz Studio 2025 is not limited from using the HDRIs that this creates, okay? So there's just no limitation for either program, okay? Because this is called environments, okay, that's why I chose to put the HDRIs in the environment, because that's where you load the HDRIs, is in your environment options, okay? Why put it in render settings when it's something loaded into your environment options? So that is why this, so what I did, okay, we'll come back to that. So in your Daz3D library, okay, so we go to My Daz3D Library, okay, you'll see there is, I don't know why nobody can name this right, can spell it right, but it's in the Environments tab. You'll go down, there's a lot of stuff in here, okay, but if you go down here to, you will remember this, okay? You may not know all the stuff in your Environments tab, but you will not forget this, okay? I guarantee you. So you go to EZ, to the EZHDRI, okay? And here it is, okay, is the folder. This is where all of your HDRIs, not where they live, but where you will access them through. This is the portal of where you will access all of your HDRIs from, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to name it back, okay? B-A-K, we'll call this 0, okay? So they're gone, all right? So now they're no longer in my Daz library. So if I go in here, they're just gone. Okay, because I want to create a new HDRI thing and show you how this program works. Okay, so it's very simple. there are 3 EXEs, okay? And you have to run them one, then run the next one, then run the third one, okay? And each one of them does a certain thing. The first EXE is your scanner, okay? So you double click here, and this looks pretty simple here. The scanner opens. Now, the vault, okay? Vault is another word for your library, okay? So it's a creative word, okay? It just means where is your Daz3D library? And usually the only thing you would might have to change here is the drive letter, because you might have it on the P drive letter or the M drive, or it might be on your C drive, okay? But you, in both of these fields, this is why it's EZHDRI, okay? That you just put My Daz3D Library into both of them. This is where tells the program, this is where my Daz3D library is, and this is where my HDRIs are. Okay, because the HDRIs could be in a different place. Okay, you could have moved them all somewhere or whatever. They could be in another place. So now this does not append HDRIs. So if you want to append, like have other HDRIs that you have in another place in your, add them in, like that you downloaded from HDRI, content or Paradise HDRI content, whatever. If you have other HDRIs, what you do is you place them into your Daz library somewhere. You create a folder, because this right here is going to scan your entire My Daz3D library and find every single HDRI in there. So if you put a folder in there with HDRIs that you've gotten from other places, it will find them too, okay? So you do this, and all right, so I'm going to click scan, and what this is going to do is it tells the program, this is where my library is, because the program needs to know where your library is so that it can create the folder inside your library, because this folder that's inside your library has to be set up inside. It has to be in the Daz library. It has to be in a base library, okay? So we can't watch your screen, by the way. What's wrong? Started learning. What's wrong? Did I do something wrong? Let me go and see. Let me check. Let me check and see. What's wrong with my screen? Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Because I have this up here. Okay, thank you very much. I understand what you mean. All right, so what I'm going to do is move a bunch of these icons over here so it's not so messy. I have been doing 1,000,001 things over here. Okay, so we're going to go like that. How's that? All right, so this is the first part, okay? So what we have here, we're going to close this. So this is the My Daz3D library. Mine is on my D drive, okay? Yours may be on a different drive, okay? It might even be on an external drive or a network drive. It doesn't matter, just as long as you tell this program where it is, okay? So you have this, so this is the HDR, which means it's just, and don't try to like isolate it and say, well, I only want it to search where my HDRs. Just let it search your whole Daz library, okay? Because it's only looking for EXRs and HDRs. It's only looking for HDRI images. It's not looking for JPEGs and PNGs or anything else. It's only looking for these gigantic HDR images, okay? So put My Daz3, this couldn't be any, I'm going to open it up again just to show you, okay? Now it's right here. You double click, okay? You don't have to even install this. This comes in, you just put them in the folder and run them, okay? So, kind of thing. So, you click scan, all right? And look what happens. Look at what happens. It's always better when you sing it, you know? So it is going to scan it's going to scan your My Daz3D library for EXRs and HDRs. And what it's going to do is create a folder in your, called EZHDRI, in your environments folder in your Daz3D library, okay? And in that, it's going to put a database pointing to all of your HDRI folders. So it's not changing your library, it's just putting a database in there that tells the program where all of your HDRIs are, okay? Now it came up with 14,000 files, okay? Now the reason why it does that is because it's also searching for DUFs. I tried to get author information into and inject that in the metadata, but that part kind of failed because I was afraid my program was going to just crumble if I kept writing into it. So I just said, okay, there's no author. You have to look them up. Look up the file name, look it up and find out who the authors are. The authors are in here in this first part. So you can open this up and find the authors, okay, of each file name, but you can't find that in the info part in Daz Studio because I couldn't link that in. It just got too complicated and I thought my program was going to dissolve in front of me. So, all right, so we're done with this. We're done with the first part. That's all we needed to do was open that up, put in your Daz3D library tells it where your Daz3D library, the other one tells you where your HDRs, which in my case is my Daz3D library. So that part's done. Now the second part is here, the thumbs maker. We open this up, okay? And what do? My D, okay, I need this back, D, colon, My Daz. This couldn't be any easier. 3D, My Daz3D library, okay, and generate thumbs, okay? And it takes a moment, and the first thumbnail kind of is a casualty. It doesn't come out right. And I could fix that too, but again, I didn't want my program to dissolve. It's working. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go into here. We'll go into environments. We're going to look up EZHDRI. And in a moment, if all goes well, look at this. See now what it's doing. It's opening up every HDRI in your library, and it's creating a thumbnail from that and squishing it, because I didn't want to crop the HDRIs because then it would cut pieces off. So instead, because Daz only shows you little squares, it doesn't allow you to see things in landscape. You know, the library only shows you little squares. It doesn't show you landscape assets, okay? So I squished the thumbnail, okay? And these are 256 by 256. And as you go down through them, so this process right here, and it looks like the first one it didn't kill the first one. So that may have been just an anomaly because it seems as though all of them worked this time. Now this process, okay, takes about an hour, okay? So you just have to leave your computer for an hour, okay? And it will create a thumbnail in your Daz Studio library in the EZHDRI folder, okay? And in that thumbnail, and it will create a thumbnail for every HDRI and every HDR and every EXR file in your Daz Studio library, okay? So that is part 2 of this. Now if I let this run, okay, it will, because I have 5,000, because these, and it doesn't matter if if you do this through my program or if you use Photoshop to make, batch thumbnails or whatever, it's still going to take an hour, okay? Because it has to load every HDR, which is a big, big image, and then it has to make a thumbnail of it, okay? Then close that HDR and load the next one and make a thumbnail of it, okay? And so this is all using a thumbnail, an image processor, an open source image processor, okay, that comes with the program, okay? It's embedded in the program. So there's nothing you have to install to do this. Basically, it's just a folder like this. Like I said, it's a folder and you click. So now we're running the thumbnail maker, and all you had to do was put in your drive letter and My Daz3D Library, and boom, okay, and click generate. And now if you want to purge the thumbnails and regenerate later, okay, so the thing is there's no append. So if you add more, you have to run the whole scan for another hour. So, but it's not a big deal, okay? So you just go to bed at night, and the next morning you have your new HDRIs in your whole library, okay? So now what I'm going to do is we'll cancel this, okay? Let's hope the cancel works. It does. Now look at that. See, so yeah, and it's like one of the Microsoft things. So what's nice is when you get down to the bottom, it's not making more, okay? So it's like, oh no, I can't stop it. It just keeps making thumbnails. I had to restart my computer. No, it stops it, okay? Now if I click Purge Thumbnails, really? Delete all of the thumbnails? Yes. Delete them. Gone, okay? So that works too. So it just, so then you can generate again as long as this is in, it won't purge unless you tell it the right place where they are, which is My Daz3D Library. It knows where they are inside as long as it has that My Daz3D Library, okay? So that's that part, okay? Then there's one more part, the Duff Maker, the Duff Builder. So we open the Duff Builder, okay? And guess what? We do the same thing, d:/my, and you click Make Duffs. And what does it do? Instantly, okay, it creates 4,780 duffs, okay? See how quickly it did that? It just created 4,000 duffs, and each duff has a thumbnail that goes with it, okay? I didn't run the whole thumbnail program, okay? But they would all have one duff and one thumbnail in this folder, okay? And then you're done. So then you're all done. And what you end up with, okay, let's open the Duff Maker again. Well, I can just delete this folder. Okay, so we'll just delete everything in the folder. We'll just delete the whole folder, okay? So we'll go up one, all right, the EZHDRI folder, okay? And what I'm going to do is show you one that's already done. We'll use this one, and okay, this is my EZHDRI folder. And now I'm going to show you in Daz what this does, okay? So we open Daz Studio, and this is the coolest part. This is the part where I pinch myself, where I'm just pinching myself saying, I can't believe I have this, okay? And you can say, well, you can search for files and find a lot of HDRIs. Yeah, about 10% of the ones that you own, you can find listed in files. But this gives you every HDRI you own. Now look at this. Now when I click on this EZHDRI, you go click on this local user, look at this, 4,000 HDRIs. In Daz Studio, nothing else, no other garbage, nothing else loaded, just 4,000 HDRIs, okay? And let's take a look at a few of these. Look at that. Now this is an older one, but it's not that old actually. But look at these HDRIs. Okay, some of these are so it's not changing your library. It's not moving or copying. This entire folder full of thumbnails is less than a gigabyte. So it's only adding about a gigabyte to your system, okay? But look at what we have here. These are your HDRIs now. And you just click on them. It's not injecting any of the other stuff like fog or any of the, I didn't want that, okay? It's all it does is it makes sure that the dome is turned on, so you don't click on it and say, oh God, I got to turn the dome on. So it's only dome on, and it resets the in here your parameters, okay? Everything else stays persistent, okay? So if you turn off like the ground, then if you start running them, the ground will be off on all of the others, okay? So if you rotate the dome, it will stay rotated there, okay? The only thing that resets is the dome gets turned on, okay? And this environment map goes back to 2, and this environment intensity goes to 1. So it resets the lighting environment back to iRay's recommended, which is the 1 and the 2. Those are the default settings. That's iRay's recommended setting for iRay and for HDRI intensity. So we come back in here. So look at these. Now you can see, okay, well this is too bright. All right. So all you have to do is go in here and take this right here and say, well, instead of 2, we'll go to 1. And there you go. And so you have your HDRI. It's that simple. It's just, this is the easy HDRI thing. And so as you can see, look how slow this is going through. Every HDRI that I've ever bought is now here in Daz Studio, in Smart Content, okay, and clickable. And it's not putting all that other garbage into the scene, like rewriting your scripts, adding actual scripts that change the way your environments work. It's not changing, because it's like you can put HDRIs into your scene that actually change so much of Daz Studio that it can corrupt your project, okay, by just clicking on those HDRIs. So by clicking on them, because it's inserting an entire program. Here we go. Look at this. See? These are all just, it's amazing. It's not changing the HDRI. The HDRI is still putting off light. It's still putting light into your scene. All it's doing is just stripping away all the other stuff, okay, and giving you the image so you can go in and change the parameters the way you want them. If you want to add fog, if you want to add draw the ground, see the draw ground is off. Now we can draw it on, turn it on. Now if I go back in here and put a different one in, you see, then draw ground is on, okay? So all of these persist through them except for the intensity. Those go back to the iRay recommended. So this is it. This is the easy HDRI And it gives you all of these HDRIs. Now there is a little bit of a setup here to get them to show up in your smart content, okay? What you do is you go into the EZHDRI folder here, okay? And you select all, control all, right click, and well, you go down here to your custom categories, okay? And you right click here and you create a subcategory called EZHDRI, okay? You can call it whatever you want, but you create a subcategory here, all right? Then you go back up to here and we go to, what is it? Environments, EZHDRI, right there. Then you come here and you select all, Control A, right click, and you categorize. And you add them to this EZHDRI thing. And you click accept. Then you go to the next batch. And you select Control All, select all. You categorize and add them to the EZHDRI. Then you go, and there's only about 13 pages. And that puts in 4,000. So then you select this one, select all, categorize, and you add them there and accept until you get to up to page 13, is it? There's like 1,000 or so each page. No, well, there's page 13. There's probably about 700 each page. See? There's about 700 of them, okay, for each page. And so until they're all in that category. Once they're in their category, they'll show up here in your, and so this is how easy when I go to smart content, okay, it's just there it is sitting right there, EZHDRI, and I double click on the user and then all 4,700 of them are here. Okay, it takes a moment for these tiny little things to show up, but they all show up here. And so look at these. Look at this. All of the HDRIs that are hidden, that you never see in your library, they're all here. Yeah, see, I have up to 8. I have an 8 terabyte solid M.2 drive. So I have 13,000 DAS assets installed in the install manager. There's over 13, like 13,100 or something. So, like, I've never seen this HDRI. I didn't know I even had it, you know. But now I do. Now when I open DAS, I can say, I'd like to make a scene. I'd like to put some people here sitting on the lawn. Okay? And I can go in and fine-tune the tone mapper. I can go and play with some of these things and like go with exposure. Well, that really changed it. Let's go back to reset. We just bring it up a little, or like this. And the shutter speed. So just all of this is ISO. See, that makes it kind of brighter. See, so you can set these things the way you want them. Oh, 0 is like the, okay, so we go to 0. No, that didn't work. Okay, we just set it back to reset the value. Okay, this, oh, that's the f-stop, okay. That's the ISO, all right, so, and you got vignetting. Okay, I didn't realize that actually whitens the edges going the other way. But yeah, so yeah, the burn highlights, crushed blacks. You can bring in a little bit more intensity to it, saturation. Take the saturation out enough till it's black and white. So this is it. This is our new. So we go back to the tone mapper, and I don't know if there's a way to reset them all. But what you do is hold the Control key, or is it Shift key? Which one is it? Alternate key, and just reset them all back. And then, oh, here's the gamma one. That was kind of what I was looking for, because I thought that looked a little bit washed out. So we can bring the burn highlights. Then we can white point scale. Then we could add a little bit more exposure to it. Oops, that's the other way. Yeah, see that? You play with these. So, but the that is going to change your figures as well. So I usually don't use tone mapping, but alternate, bring it back. So this brings us back to here. So I'm hoping that this video will reach Daz Studio, and either they'll reach out to me or something. These are nice. Look at these. These are nighttime scenes. And because, you know, it doesn't actually, it's not a script that runs in Daz Studio. It runs outside of Daz Studio. And you don't want to be creating 5,000 thumbnails. How much may it cost? I'm thinking around 35 bucks, $35. Okay? So it's not going to be expensive. All right? That might even be higher than I plan to charge for it. Okay? So at this point, if Daz wants to sell it, then I might end up having to sell it for what they think it's worth, okay? Because they may have to do some. Now you see, obviously this one is it's not following iRay. This may have been like a 3D Light one, okay? So you just go in here to your environment options and go to 1, and there you go. Look at what we have here. And we could bring this one down to like 0.9. All right, so I have brought you the sky. That's what this is. I am bringing you the sky in Daz Studio, because this is what we have all been wanting, okay? And nobody has come up with a solution for it until now. I did it. I started out with this dream 3 months ago. I spent day and night thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And I failed many times until I finally got everything right. And so as you can see, the program, you scan and it finds all your HDRIs. That's the first part, scan. The next part is the thumbs maker, okay? And that makes a thumbnail for every HDRI that you own, okay? And all those thumbnails go in a folder, and that folder is no more than a gigabyte, okay? Because these are little teeny thumbnails, even though there's 5,000 of them. Well, let's go and look, okay? Here's my EZHDRI. It might be more than a gig, but let's see. Properties. It's not even a gig. This is 312 megabytes. It's not even a gigabyte. And we go inside this folder and look at it. There's 9,000 items in here, and they don't even take up a gigabyte. And these are all of your HDRIs with a DUF file, okay? So, and they are situated within Daz Studio's library so that we can access them from within here. So it is amazing now what this does. So I'm going to give Daz, because, you know, if I sell it in the Windows Store, I won't make a dime, okay? Because how many people are going to go to the Windows Store to buy a Daz app, you know? So the thing is to sell it in the Daz Store and give you all access to it. And Daz will probably find some way, because I haven't figured this out yet, but they'll find some way to make it so that it can't be copied. You know, add some digital rights management into it so that it can't be copied. You know, I can do that myself, but it's like the minute you start working on something like that, all of a sudden it balloons into this big, gigantic, well, we'll have to get their email address and we'll have to send it. When they open it up, it's going to ask them to put their email address in. Then we're going to have to send them a code, you know, and then we have to also manage it so it can't be reverse engineered. And then we have to do this, and it turns into like more effort than it took me to make the program, and which is 3 months. It could take that long. And then there's this whole idea that, what if I locked myself out of my own program? I could end up accidentally locking myself out. So, and then there's, and the thing is Daz already has that all set up right now with their install manager. It's like pretty hard to use Daz stuff. I don't think there's any way that you can with current Daz to get current Daz stuff out of your library other than saving it as an OBJ file or something like that. So look at this here. Look at what we have. So this is all really beautiful. And they all open up right in your Daz3D. This is what it would look like if you'd opened the other one, except they would add a bunch of crap into it. Okay, so, and some of them are actually 16K. It preserves all of that. You can see now this one has a seam. This is really old one. That one has an actual seam in it, but it's still pretty nice. Look at that. So if we want to take some of this down a little bit, we just go into parameters again. Now each time you put it in, it resets it. So we go back down. Look at this now. See, this is usable right here. You just have one of your figures standing here. That'd be so cool. It's just suddenly everything, all of these HDRIs are usable. They're findable. They're right here. This is what's nice. Now these are some of the most amazing HDRIs. I think this is one 4096. This is 4K one. Look at that. See, now this. And then the fear of buying more HDRIs, it just evaporates, because all you have to do is run the thumb maker and run the 3 programs. Scan them again, which the scan only takes about a half a minute to do. The thumb maker, if you've got 5,000 HDRIs, takes an hour or maybe more and I made sure that the thumb maker doesn't make them too quick, so that your computer, so you can still actually check your email and chat with somebody while it's making the thumbnails in the background. Okay, so that part was hard, okay? But as you notice, if you roll back and watch this video, while it was making those thumbnails, I was actually broadcasting and at the same time. So I made sure that, because I could have set it up as a parallel process and had those thumbnails like pumping out so quick, but I wanted to make sure that even people with their laptop or whatever could convert their HDRIs and and still use their computer while it's doing it. So that's why it takes an hour to convert 5,000 or more. It could take more, even up to 2 hours to convert. But once they're done, you've got this 5,000. You've got, look at how many there are. And there are no duplicates. And as you can see, every one of them converted. Daz has done well to make sure that these files are pretty standard. They're regular HDRIs. Look at this. Look at that right there. That's just like cotton candy or something. I don't know what it reminds me of, but it's very beautiful. Look at that sky. See, it's like I have not even seen these before. Like I didn't even know I had this HDRI here. You see, this is you put some soldiers here that are all dirty looking, and they've got their helmets, and they look like they've been in a war. They got scars, and yeah. It's just the minute you go through these things, you say, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I had this. So, yeah. Look at this. This one's a little bit blown out. So you just come in here to your parameters. Like I said, it's probably 3 delights. So you go down to 1. And there you go. It might be a little bit now too much taken off, but yes, Serenity's Gate, you are here. It is awesome. I have been working for the last 3 months. I have finished. It's called EZHDRI. EZHDRI. It is our new HDRI program that is now it's not available yet to buy, and I don't want to upset Daz by like selling a few copies before. I'm gonna see, it's not it's not the best program in the world, that like the one that just came out, the Martin Frost the one that scatters vines all over objects. Now that is pretty amazing too. So I wonder if that took him 3 months to make, but this one did me. And this one is an actual program, okay? It's not using a program to do something. It's actually a program that had to be compiled. Each one of them had to be, it's big, long, multiple scripts all coming together to make this. So we go into here. This is obviously too blown out. This is probably, again, another 3 delight, but look at what we have here now. Look at that. So we just put a plane in here. Let's see, but we could, put accept. Now let's make the plane black. All right, we go to surfaces and black, a black plane. And let's take the shine off of it, which would be let's add some roughness. There we go. See, just to kind of see where the sky is. Yeah, so there we go. This is pretty cool, and we can pull this out a little bit. We can open this a little like that. This is what we're looking at here, people. Now we could take this right in here. That's our light source. It's a very large light source, so it would create a very soft light. We could go to here, to our parameters, and bring this down to 0.2. So that's kind of interesting. And back here. So this is going to be something on the horizon. Now these are, a lot of these are HDRIs that give you like a light source so that you can turn like this, and it will shine a certain kind of light onto your figure. These are things that I didn't know I had them, you know, but they're here. Look at this. Now it's kept my plane in the scene, all right? So, yeah. So, Daz, if you're interested in this, let me know. I don't know. You can contact me through YouTube, through my YouTube channel. Look at this. So this gives you access. This gives me access to, look at this. See, I didn't know I had this. I didn't know I had this HDRI here. Now that's a little bit bright, so again, it's been reset. But it's not bright if you turn this to the back of your figure. But we go to 1, and look at this. Look at this. This is so cool, and you can, I think you can kind of tell that this scene is, this isn't a picture. It's just, there's a little bit too much to kind of, these are a little too perfect. So, but it's very well done. So we are working with the EZHDRI program now. So we have 3 programs. Close this down for now. You will find HDRIs that you didn't know you had. And where is it? EZHDRI for Windows. And this is the first one. This is our scanner, okay? You put this in, you scan, and it finds every HDRI on your scene, okay? And this one right here is the thumb maker. You put your library, your My Daz3D Library, generate thumbs, and it creates that folder in your environments, the EZHDRI folder, and it puts all those thumbnails in there, okay? And this is the one that takes about an hour or more, if you have 5,000 of them, to do it, okay? But once it's done, all of your HDRIs are right there in your Daz library, and you are able to use them. This last one is the thumbs builder, and this, the duff builders, and this makes the duff files. So when we go into here, okay, there's one duff file for each thumbnail file, and each duff had to be injected with code, with duff code, so that it would insert, so it would find the HDRI and insert it into your scene. Okay, so, and it is not changing, like I said, it's not changing anything in Daz Studio. It's just creating one folder, and in that folder it's putting less than a gig of data, okay? And so it's not going to be, it's like as if you bought a piece of some hair or something. It's that much of a footprint in your Daz library to use this. So everything about this is easy, okay? So we go now and we go to here. We find our thumbnail folder. It's in My Daz3D Library. Go to Environments, EZHDRI, and this is what those programs create in this folder. Okay, all of your HDRIs with the duff file. Each one has its own duff file. okay? And that DUF file enables them to, so this is a lot of HDRIs, okay? Just a lot of them. And before I'd have to like click on the HDRI file, I'd have to copy my HDRI files into a folder. Then click on the HDRI one by one and load them into Daz. And also it threw off the, because it's the HDRI in your scene, when you save your scene, it's not saving it from the DUF, it's saving it from the actual location where the HDRI lives. So I haven't really thought that one out a lot, but I'm quite sure that's how it works. So there's some little caveats of this that I haven't even been able to consider because it's so complicated. But it's very simple here. Now you go back to your smart content. Here they are. You click on this, open the user folder, and here. Now what you can do is you can uncouple this from here, and you can make this HDRI folder, like put it on a separate monitor. And especially now if we go open to, would you like to save changes? No. If we open up, now this also works in Daz Studio 2025. Okay, so because it's all done externally outside of Daz, it's not done from within Daz. It's not using Daz scripts. Okay, it's all done using Windows, C++, C#, and .NET. Yeah, okay, so we open this up. We go into parameters. We go into our smart content. Okay, come back. Default. Now, I'm not sure if this is set up in here yet. EZHDRI. Is it set up? No, it's not. So, okay. So what we do is we go back here. I just haven't set it up yet here. Okay, here they are in here. All of these, okay, so what we do is we go select all, right click. Let's see what's going on down here in our, okay, these are our categories. They should be working in here. Okay, we go up into here. Okay, we minimize this. Okay, so what we do is this may have to be redone again here. So we just delete this category, remove it, delete it from here. Okay. Come on. And we go right click and we go create a subfolder. You can call it whatever you want, just HDRIs or whatever. Accept. Okay, we come up here now to our Daz Studio formats. All right, here. We go into My Daz3D Library. We go to our environments. Here. We go to EZHDRI. And I'm surprised they're both showing up here. Okay, we go select all, right click, categorize. We put them in there, accept. Okay, we do this one, select all, right click. You have to do 13 of them if you have almost 5,000. That's not too much. So we go here, accept. This is how you get them to show up in smart content, okay? They'll show up here in your content library, but you can get them to show up. That's the best way, is to have them show up in smart content. So you add them, Select all, right click, categorize. I think they actually do show up. I think I was looking at the wrong category because you have to look at files and not products. Okay, but let's see, select all, okay, so we're going to add. So I'm showing you how to kind of set this up. So you just make sure so we're at 5, okay, 6. Okay, I think I think this holds more per page than it's only 5 pages yeah, because these hold more per page, okay? It looks like there's no like thumbnail for them, but it just takes a while for them to paint. Okay, so now we go, yeah, see we're in products. The only way this works is to go into into files. And now you have in your DAZ Studio 2025 every single HDRI file that you own, fully injectable. Okay, it didn't show because we're not in iRay. And look at that. See, these all work. Look at that. You will find HDRIs you didn't know you knew. All right, so this is it. This is how this all works. So at some point, you will be getting HDRIs, whether if I have to sell it through the Windows Store. Look at this. See, I've never seen this before. Now what's really cool is you can come up into here, these new category things, and you can just, this is new to our My Daz3D Library. We go to environments. We go to here, EZHDRI, and look at this. See, you can view them up here in this big window here. Add them to your scene. Look at that. See, now that's a little bit too bright, so we go to our environments, parameters, and we go to, look at that now, see? That was probably made for 3Delight. Look at this, see? Now this is nice. And we just go boop, this, move that out of the way, and look what we have here. And you just start creating, start putting your things on the scene. You can add lights in here, you can add all the stuff you do. So yes, this is what I set out to do, was to bring you the sky. And that's what I've done. And so this is what you have now. You have, it's like, it's, you know, at least I have it for now. And this is like really cool that now look at this. See these? This would be so awesome to make a scene in with. Look at these. Look at that. See, these are bokeh effects. Look at these. It's just amazing. So, what's this? Look at that. And look at this. Oh, wow. See, I think I have seen this once before, but yeah, I mean, once. Now look at this, is the ground level. This is pretty cool. And you light your figure and they're standing here. This is so nice. It's just nice to be able to peruse through your HDRIs. And as you can see, we haven't clicked on one single HDRI that didn't work. Not one. See, so this is, I'm done with this program. I'm not going to be, I'm not going back in to mess with it. I am not, I can, I don't want to. So now this looks like a little blown out, a little too much. So we go into parameters again. And I would say let's go to 1.3. Oh, let's go just to 1. Okay, now look at this. That's kind of nice right there. So yeah, our HDRIs that we never knew. So look at these. Some of them are kind of hard to tell, but I had to squish them because, like I said, now if you put your mouse over, it does tell you the name of the HDRI. Okay. So, and I had to put a different name, like I had to put my brand in there, EZHDRI. I had to put that in there so it wouldn't, so that these names wouldn't conflict with other names. If I hadn't put like something else in there, then they could have conflicted with the thumbnails that go to the actual products. What very few are actually there. It would have conflicted with them. So we have this with a different file name. Vanilla. Look at this. And see that's so that you've got a nice light on your, if you use it here, you have a nice light behind you. Look at this. Look at that right there. It'd be just so lovely to have an ultra scenery lawn here, with that sky behind it. And it's like, where are these scenes? All of these HDRIs are hidden. They're lost in our library, and we've not been able to find them. And here they are now. It's just all right here. This is the castle ones. I know these are the ruins. And this one has a seam, I think. It's kind of strange, but some of this is kind of odd. An odd place. That's the back. Now, if you can remember, I didn't do that here. So, yeah, sulfur. These are these really cool sulfur ones. Look at that. Put someone with one of those face masks. It'd be kind of cool in here. So, it gives you the ideas that you need to do things. This is nice. You could put somebody in here and have them pop right out of the light. This is nice in here too. Yeah. So this is going to usher in the era of the HDRI. Okay. These look like space ones. And look at these. See, I didn't know I had these. I had no idea. You could put an astronaut floating in space. I didn't even know I had these. Where are they? I've had these in my library for years, and I didn't even know I had them. See, that's the thing. That's why this is such a monumental product, people. Because it gives us the ability to take these, look at this, kind of cool, like out of focus colors for the backdrop. Here's our noir ones. Oh, look at these spaceship ones. It's hard to tell what these are. I wanted to like have each image like kind of color graded so that they would show up more. But if I'd done that, it would have taken even longer for it to make the thumbnail. And so they're just the way they're all, you can tell what's kind of here. What's this? Well, the only way to fix this is still another one. These are star fields, I think. No, but the thing is they're here and they're clickable. So you can bring them right into your scene. Now these ones are obviously blown out a little bit. Sky 6. Some of them look like they were just bright skies they're not bad, you know, but like this collection kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. But I have used these before. Some of them are kind of interesting, but the fact that they're like on a gray sky, you'd think they wouldn't have used gray there, but and it makes me wonder if that gray is some kind of transparency and that you can put these, but it's not really because it's the HDRI. So I'm not really sure what this is all about, but yeah, see, putting that gray in behind, yeah, I think black would have been better or something, you know, than the gray. Not sure what that's all about. So, but I'm sure I didn't pay that much for them, you know, so I probably only paid like 50 cents for the whole collection. That's the thing is I bought these all, I always buy them when they're on sale. So now that is very interesting. This would go very nice in a winter scene. Okay. Like a haunted house kind of scene with it snowing. Now it's like, what is this? This is the what is this kind of thing because it's got a seam, so it's very old. It's a very old sky. But so it's obviously made for 3Delight. It's made for a different, so we go into our parameters. We bring this down to 1. And that didn't work. 0.5. Okay, and suddenly we have something pretty interesting. Even though there's a seam there, this isn't too bad. This is kind of heavenly. Look at that. See, who would have thunk that this would have, that's not too bad right there. This is kind of nice. You have that way off in the distance, and down here you have some land, and yep. So this one has an ocean. So again, we're down in these lower levels. I don't know that they're done by, yeah, highest first, but I don't think those work with this. Because I tried to be as sparing on metadata as possible. I just didn't want a bunch of metadata that wasn't really necessary in these. So these ID, highest ID, I don't think that works. The way to parse them, I wanted to go into all kinds of things. I wanted to get AI to analyze each image and tell if it was warm or if it was like cold, like bluish, or if it was like in the orange. I wanted it to categorize them by how many light sources they have. Do I have 1 or 2 or 3 light sources? I wanted to categorize them how big they are. When you put your mouse over, there's nothing here. It's just the name. And so we go into parameters. So, but that's kind of all you need is the name. You can look up the name and find out, okay, let's go to 0.2. Now let's go to 0.7. Now look at that. That's pretty interesting right there. So yeah, sandy beach, look at these. Now these ones have seams too or no? No seam here, look at these. That's pretty neat. That is like really nice. These look like actual photos, like 360-degree photos. They do, they do. That. And these are all different angles of the same scene. Look at this. Now that's very kind of old. It doesn't look like it has much resolution to it. But you could still have somebody coming through here. Not really. This is just too bad. This one right here, so once you bring it into the scene, because it's in the scene now, when we go into scene parameters, it's loaded the actual HDRI. And see, this is a 2K. So this is only 2K. It's like 2,000 pixels. It's horrible. So what you do with this is you put a plane in the scene, and then you lay this on the plane, okay? And then you've only got that area behind your scene. Then it's all squished in, and then you have more detail. You can bring it up to 4K because it's been squished in. So the scene, it's kind of interesting how that works. So yeah. This is it. This is how we do it. What's this? This is, so some of these, you go by the name, put your mouse over 4096, 896, so that's 8K. Okay, 1024, so this is our 8K image of this. So this still looks like it's 3D Light, or are they just changed it from the DAZ, from iRay, so it's not the iRay. So we go to 1. Look what we have. We bring this down to 0.9. Look at that. You could put some people in here. We could go 0.5. Look at that now. See, it's just, that's it. So this is going to do this for me for this video. And let me know if, you know, I'm not making this available yet. until Daz has a chance to decide if they want to do something, if they want to offer this to in the store, and if so, then we will go that route. It all depends on Daz. If Daz, I have to write a letter and I have to try, and so that's what this video is kind of about, is that what I'm going to do is just send them to this video and then let them decide and give them a way to contact me if they're interested in selling the program. Then I will give them exclusive. Of course, it's a Daz product, and I don't want to sell it out, on out like on the Windows Store, which I love the Windows Store, but people aren't going to go there to buy it. They're going to want to buy it through the Daz store. And this is not something that you run from within Daz, okay? It's here. You run these 3 programs. You don't even have to install this. All you do is take it out of the, unrar it or unzip it, put it on your desktop, run it, and it searches for all of your HDRIs, and it creates all those thumbnails. It creates the DUF files, and when you open your Daz, there they are. So it's all done with external scripts and programs. It's all done. I did it externally because part of my brain wanted to do it within Daz with their scripting language, but their software developer kit, they stripped so much out of it that nothing really worked. And also the idea of having Daz open, like having all of these thumbnails loaded and all this default stuff loaded here in the background, like from figures and all these things loaded in the background while you're trying to make thumbnails on a computer that's kind of weak. Well, that didn't seem like a good idea. And so when you can close Daz, close it right down, and you can have nothing else open but this, and then you can run and you can scan and find all of your HDRIs. You can make the thumbnails all with Daz closed, with everything closed, and then you can build the DUFs. Just boom, 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 you're done. And all you have to do is, like in this here, the Scanner Studio, you put your Daz library, put your Daz library here, click Scan, okay? And when it's done scanning, you close it. The Thumb Maker, you put your Daz library here, generate thumbs. When it's done, you close it. You come here, you put your Daz library here, make DUFs. When it's done, you close it. Then you're done. It's easy, okay? It's very easy to do. It's the same address that you put in every box. And you might say, well, why did you have to make it that way? Why couldn't you just put that address in and have them remember? These don't talk with each other, okay? They're just kind of dumb programs, okay? But this right here took a lot of work to make this work, okay? A lot, okay? So you can either type it in, or you can just go here and you can go and find your Daz library here, which would be, you go to Daz and then you go select My Daz Library, select it, and you get the same thing. Just make sure that your Daz library might be on the F drive, or it could be on the C drive, or it could be on the R drive, or whatever. It could be on any drive that you have, E drive. Okay? And if it's theirs on the E drive, then you want this on the E drive. Okay? So this tells the program where your library is. It has to know. It's not psychic. And so then you click Scan, and you're done. And then you put the same thing. If you're E drive, then you put the E drive My Daz3D Library here. You put the E drive, My Daz3D Library, generate the thumbnails. That takes about an hour if you have 5,000 thumbnails like me. So it takes more than an hour. It takes like an hour and a half. So, but once it's done, then you have your HDRIs in your Daz3D library. Every one of them. And you just open up Daz and you click here, go to your content, all right? And there they are. Boom. All of your HDRIs. And look, that's a lot of HDRIs. Every last one of them all organized together. And if you have HDRIs that you've gotten from other places, then you just put them in your Daz library and it will find them. And it will add them here, okay? So when it does the scan, just make sure they're in your Daz3D library. And it will find any HDRIs that you have. And it will add them into this library. So just make sure they're in your Daz Studio library in a folder, anywhere. And it will find them. And it will put them in here. Look at this. Now this is because the ground is on, so you go in here to your environments and you go to parameters. You just turn the ground off and it stays off. So as you're going through the rest of these, the ground, so now it's not showing that ground anymore. So it stays off. Now that I bet there's more detail in this sky than it's showing. So we just take this and go to parameters again and cut this in half to 1. And no, the sky is pretty whited out, but there's some pretty nice stuff in there. So you just brighten up your figures in the foreground. That's very pretty there. Yep. Put one of those little houses here. Some houses and some... This is the Hobbit land. Hobbit. Hovel. Yeah, they could have a little village in here. This is what you do, and see, it puts it right into your environments. And this is not a fake HDRI. This has not been converted. None of your library does not get changed at all. All this does is scan and point to. All right, well, Serenity's Gate, this is, you probably will want to hit Daz up for it. I'm hoping that Daz will want this. And if they do, then they will, then it will be for sale in the store. You know, I'm thinking 35 bucks, and it'll probably go on sale and sell for like $1, you know. But, you know, a slow nickel is better than a fast dime. A fast nickel is better than a slow dime. That's what they say. So if it sells for $1, you know, I certainly put a lot of work in here. Like this, look at the files I had to create. All of these are, and then the tools. These right here are not even my, yeah, these are just the exe files that were created. These aren't even the project files. They got stripped out of here. Yeah, this was really hard to make. You haven't opened Daz in months? Wow. Yeah, well, I have to, yeah, Daz is my kind of, Daz will always be kind of a big part of my life. So yeah, so we got all these beautiful scenes here, and you go through and you just find ones that you didn't even know you had. Like, look at that. This is really cool. This is the same mountain range, but with a different color to it. Now these are like some of my favorite skies in all of Daz. Look at that. Look at this. And you can rotate the skies the way you want them. It just brings all of your, the thumbnail and that DUF file, they're just pointers to your HDRIs. They show you this little image. When you click it, it finds the HDRI and puts it in. So that's the finished product of this. Look at these. These are the best, some of the best HDRI skies in all of Daz. Certainly my favorites. Look at this. That is so nice. And these are amazing. Look at this. Yeah. And what is this? Yeah, I don't even, these I don't even, you know, yeah, I knew I had these. Well, I had to go to work. I'm still working another job, so I'm trying to work the other job and do this as well. I'm still working another job. So don't lose motivation over me. I'm not worth it. Yeah, taking, you know, that's not my, wasn't my intention. I just, YouTube kind of fired me from my other channel. And it's like, yeah, well, I got to go out and work and make money. Now, these are really amazing here. These other, these patterns. You just set Darth Vader right in the middle of this, you know, and put some light on him. This would be so cool. There's just so much awesome stuff here. And that's the thing, is that these patterns are amazing. And so it brings all your HDRIs. Right now, your HDRIs, they're hidden. And that's the problem with Daz right now, is all of your HDRIs, not all of them, I would say you're exposed to about 10% of the HDRIs that you bought. The rest aren't showing up. They're just not anywhere to be found. That's why I did this. I've done a scene with these before. Yeah, I don't know which one it was, but maybe this one, but you could put something very large, like one of those Norwegian wooden churches, you know, in here. Something cool. See, they all work also. It's like not one of them have I clicked on and it just kind of froze up and didn't work. They all work. So this program is tested meticulously to make sure it works. That is what I've done here. These are the film noir. Look at these. These are awesome. Now there is a little bit of a banding in this one. They probably all have, but black and white is very hard to do without banding. This has very little black in it. You can't see the banding in this, but it's still black and white. There's, I don't see any banding in, oh, I see banding in that area, but I don't see it that much here. That looks really nice. Look at that. See these, this is what we're missing, people. We're missing all these HDRIs. Look at all of these noir ones. Look at that. this. Very subtle light source over here. This one you could probably bring up. The light source. It's right here. We could go into parameters, and instead of 2, we could go 5 or 15. And then look what we have here. We have this amazing light source. See that? Shining into the scene. So yeah, I could just play with this forever, and that's what I intend to do. It's like part of this was because I wanted this, because I wanted my HDRIs in my scene, in Daz. I wanted to be able to use them. And so that's part of it. This has an overhead light. Look at all these different lightings. It's very soft kind of lights that you can set in the scene and put your figures in here and then crank them up or down the way you want them to be. All of these give you this very soft kind of light. Look at this. Now we are in Premiere, we are in 2024, so this is also, when we pull these over, pull this over a little more, and this a little bit more. So we have 2, and then look what we have here. Look at this. We saw this one. So yeah, 5,000 of them, 4,000. So I come through here and I just look and say, oh my gosh, I haven't seen that one. Look at this. I haven't seen this one before. No, this is very cool. Look at that, some kind of furnace or something. Burning fiery furnace. And these may be used sometimes in the name. You just, if you put them both in, and they both look like the same thing, they do, then it's possible that this one says steam. Yeah, see, this one has steam, no steam. That's pretty cool. Very cool. So, look at this. See, these are all really nice. Put a little pirate ship or something, I don't know. Some kind of like Fantasia ship in here. And this looks a little bit too whited out, so we could go into parameters. Bring this down to 1. There we go. It doesn't take much to edit these. Go down to 0.5. Look at that now. See, this is pretty nice. This is like amazing. So let's do a quick render of this. Render settings. 2000, we go to progressive renders. Maximum samples on. Spectral rendering, we'll turn that on. We'll go to optimization. Caustic renders, here we go. And we haven't had a blue screen of death or Daz crash. Not once. So this is pretty cool. Look how that just reticulated. This is pretty nice. Put something kind of very detailed in here. See, what this does is it gives you this in the scene. It pulls this HDRI into your scene, so then you could say, put a plane in here, like this. Size, let's go 20. Let's go 10, 10, and 10. Enter, accept. See, we just take this plane here, go like this, like that. Parameters 90. Z to push it into our scene. Okay, this is the right. What I want to do is go to front, and we take our this, that, 90. Translate Z now. We go Z into our scene like that. All right. And then we bring that back and we scale it like this. Oops, Z. Scale it up, Z, Z. Scale it like that. Okay. And then we scale it like this, X. No, that's, okay, scale it Y, translate it Y. Scale it, now, I thought X was supposed to go the other way, but I guess it's Z this way. All right, now since we already have our HDRI in the scene, we can just go to this plane now, surfaces, and we go to base color, browse. No, not there. Just go to base color right here. See, now that HDRI is on there, we go down here to emission color. There, put it here. Make that white. And temperature, not temperature, luminance, 4. We take this like this. I knew there was something wrong with that, parameters. So rotate. Y rotate. Go 290. No, that's not right. We'll just do it by eye. Then we go like this, scale, X, and Z. Now we have some detail in our scene. We can go X a little bit more like this. Y, Z scale. Okay, it's upside down. There we go. See, once it's in the scene, then you can put it on a plane or something like that and make it. Then we go to render. Look what we have here. So it's I mean, it's a little crooked, and it's just, but it gives you the idea. Basically, we go straighten that a little bit. So, all right, that's going to do it for me for this EZHDRI session. That is what we are working with now. The program is done. And now all it really needs is to have some DRM inserted into it and bring it in so that into the DAZ install manager. It is something that's going to have to be run from outside of DAZ, but it won't be the first time that DAZ has had like sold EXEs and other programs in the store. It's it's going to work. It's going to work, and if it doesn't, well, Serenity's Gate, I hope you are doing well. Eat well, exercise, get yourself a rowing machine. That's what I did. I got a rowing machine. So, all right, I am done for now. Thank you very much, people, for watching. If I look tired, it's because I am. I had to get up early this morning, and I had stuff to do. I had to work for a couple of hours, which wasn't very long, but I'm working now, and I probably should go out and work some more today. So thank you for watching. Just keep an eye out. This is going. Paul, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you also for watching. This is a program right here, EZHDRI. You got all of this. You just basically click on these three things. They open. You put in your path, and it does it all for you. So Angus, you have a good day, friend. Have a good day. I will talk with you all in the next Ez3DTv tutorial. For now, we're going to play our splash screen, and I will be back afterwards to say goodbye. And it's me again. Thank you for watching. Write a letter to DAZ and tell them you'd like to have the EZHDRI for sale in the store. Tell them that you'd like to have access to the HDRIs. And thank you very much for watching. And check this video out. Watch it again. Learn about it. Learn about what this product does. Okay? And you will find that you, all of a sudden, when you're able to, you can put, I have 5,000 HDRIs. It took over an hour to make 5,000 thumbnails, to open each HDRI, make a thumbnail, close it, open another. It does it serially so that it can do it on anybody's computer. So we're gonna, so these HDRIs, so you can collect and collect and collect and just start creating a huge, with 10,000 HDRIs, 20,000, why not? And all of those thumbnails, those 5,000 thumbnails, they didn't even take up, what was it, 400 megabytes? It's about the size of about, an album of music. It's not even a gig, not even 1 gig, all of those HDRI thumbnails. 5,000 of them. So, and the Duffs. So, yeah, not even a gig. So that is what what we're talking about is getting your HDRIs. And that is what this does. It gives you the sky. That's what we're doing. It's sky tools for Daz Studio. So thank you for watching. Take care, people. I will see you in the next EZ3DTv tutorial. Have a lovely, lovely day. Rest of your day. Stay cool and keep in perfect health, serenity. Yes, you're my friend, buddy. Stay in health. You have my prayers, and whatever it takes, you know. I'm not that spiritual of a guy, but you know, I find myself praying for my friends because maybe it'll help, you know, maybe it does. I don't know. But I'm certainly not going to not do something like that when I really care about people. So stay well, and I will do the same. I will try to do the same myself. If you look behind me, you'll see there is my exercise machine, my rowing machine. That's part of it too. This is all a big rowing machine to try and keep myself fit. Is it working? I don't think so, but it does work. You just have to keep up with it. So yeah, I'm going to be getting on that sometime tonight before the night is over and doing at least 100 laps. Yeah, rowing across the English Channel. I will see you. Take care. All my best to you. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for watching. And keep up the fun Daz stuff. We'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.